magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
And I left the microphone off. I was like, wait a minute. The light is blinking. How we all doing, everyone? This is the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday night live stream main event. We are back to our regular schedule after a weekend of TFCon and a whole bunch of drama. Check the Monday live stream for more information on that and all that craziness. How we all doing? My name's Protoman. This is the face that runs the place, and welcome to the Transformer Room of Craziness. Welcome to the Transformers Slag Podcast live stream. Not hitting everything on every, getting back into the groove of things. So last week we had TFCon. This weekend is the eye of the storm before the next big thing, which is San Diego Comic-Con. Next weekend, there's going to be a whole bunch of big reveals, a whole bunch of stuff. I get a feeling, literally, guys, Monday leading up to it, we're going to have so much news, so much craziness. But this week we had a lot of news too. We had a whole bunch of cool stuff. Nice to see all the YouTube members here and Patreon people and everything like that. Welcome. So we're going to jump into the news. We're going to cover some things here and there. We got some little things to reveal today. Not too much, but little things to reveal today. It'll probably be on the front pages of the websites within the next couple of hours. But let's jump into that. So we'll cover first the EarthSpark stuff. And this has a little bit to do with San Diego Comic-Con. And we got some EarthSpark information and the names of some characters. So that little, reddish whirl-looking kind of bot there that's female is going to be named Twitch. We know that that grayer kind of motorcycle-y Tron-looking kind of bot is named Thrash. The Twitch bot, the female, is voiced by Kathleen Kovari, who does the voice of Miss Marvel in a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of animations and video games. And we also got Zeno Robinson, who did Cyborg in Young Justice and a whole bunch of stuff. So we know a little bit of the cast. We know a little bit of some of the voice actors. The voice actor for Bumblebee in this is the voice of Huey from the new DuckTales series. So if you want to get kind of an idea of what these characters are going to sound like, you could kind of check those out and get a general idea of what they might sound like. But at least we know the names of our two new Autobots that are probably going to be the stars of this new series, and many a toy to be purchased in the future, assuming the toys are pretty decent. But we also have news in relation to the panels. We're going to have a product panel on Thursday from Hasbro for EarthSpark, for Legacy, for Studio Series, potentially something else too. They said another big announcement. It's pretty obvious. It's probably going to be Rise of the Beast stuff. At least that's what I think. And then, of course, on Friday, we're going to have a EarthSpark panel, which is going to give us an introduction of everything that's going on with that series and those characters and what's the story with that and everything. So we will find out in the very near future. Again, SDCC is just around the corner now, literally this weekend coming up. So should be interesting to see. I'm very curious about this series because we haven't had a decently long I guess, ongoing series in a while. Cyberverse was the last thing we had, and it was a great series, but it was very bite-sized. And the Netflix stuff, I feel, just didn't whet the appetite that people wanted. We didn't have a we didn't have a decent movie in a while, combined with the fact that the comic books are on their way out. So this is a lot of ways it's going to be a new era for us. It's going to be a new generation of Transformers stuff, and we'll see where that goes in the near future. We'll have that discussion when that comes. Next up, some Shattered Glass. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Shattered Glass Flamewar. This one I'm very excited about. This is a Sakamoto creation from back in the day, BotCon 2014. Obviously, it's channeling something that was from BotCon 2005 back in the day when they did that very first year with Fun Publications, and Flamewar was one of those new characters included there. She was the free figure with the box set, And then Sakamoto kind of took that concept when they took that character, they made it a legend scale Transformers Prime figure in 2012. Sakamoto took that, gave him his own little spin of the Sakamoto flavor, and lo and behold, we have Flamewar we have today in the Shattered Glass version. Now, these images come courtesy of In Demand Toys. What's up, Aaron? They come courtesy of In Demand Toys, and these aren't the official images by Hasbro. These are the stock images. So we'll probably be getting some official images very soon. Again, she is going to be the July Shattered Glass release for this month. So get your credit card ready if you do want to pre-order her. She's probably not going to be a deluxe class price point, judging by the fact that she does come with a extra little Battle Master character in that of Fireglide. Fireglide is kind of trying to fit in the role of her bow and arrow weapon from her original Beast Hunters Prime mold that she was based on from BotCon 2014. And you could kind of make a bow and arrow with Fireglide, so yeah, that kind of works out. It looks great. I like it. Obviously, in the Chestal region, it's not exactly like Sakamoto's version, but otherwise, the spirit is there, and I really like what I see. I dig it. Again, we just don't know what the price point's going to be because that extra, that extra Battle Master of Fireglide, which uses that Terraraxodon, whatever that mold was called there in Siege in 2019, that's going to add a little bit to the price point. So I'm imagining something in that Voyager price point or whatever it costs for like and his Armada, our Target Master Cyclonus that we got a while back. It's probably going to be around that. That's going to be my guess, more or less. But still pretty awesome. And again, here we have it for our wave 2 of Shattered Glass. Number 6 with our Shattered Glass Ultra Magnus, aka Powered Commander, doing double duty. We got our Shattered Glass Blaster. We got our Shattered Glass Slicer, which also is your Shattered Glass Wheeljack, again, doing double duty if you want to have your Action Master Slicer with armor. And then we got, again, Shattered Glass Flamewar, pretty much a Shattered Glass RC doing double duty also if you want to own a Flamewar figure. So a lot of double duty here. And chances are, what's going to be our August 2022 release? Well, judging by the listings that leaked out many months ago, we're talking Soundwave. We know it's a Voyager. We know it's going to be 6 per case. But which mold is it? We don't know. People are hoping that it's going to be that Netflix Voyager class Soundwave, the tape cassette. But we don't know. Could be. Could be. That'd be great. That'd be great for a lot of people. But we shall see. But that'll be next month and probably much later in next month before we learn that. So stay tuned for that. Next up, let's talk about some images of the Wheelie. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah, there we go. The Wheelie figure. So a core class Wheelie figure leaked out a couple of days ago. We saw the stock images and they were pretty blurry. We didn't really have a good idea of how the figure was going to look. And then one of the message boards on the Chinese message boards in Weibo, a Chinese message board website, pretty much gave us a completely crazy photography of every angle of this figure. Almost a turnaround in a lot of ways. And I think it looks really good. I had my misgivings at the beginning. I think the robot mode looks really good. I still think that the alt mode has a lot to be desired. Maybe because it's a core class and it's limited to the amounts of parts and pieces that it could have, and the fact that it comes with the slingshot is just a nice little bonus. I mean, I felt for years, and I'm just gonna pull this up for a second. I felt for years the best wheelie figure that was unofficial or official was the Super Alloy third party wheelie. It was like a metallic kind of wheelie figure. It was designed by Jizai Toys many years ago, and then Super Alloy kind of did their thing. And this thing doesn't even have that many parts, to be honest. And what's cool about it too is you could kind of even like homage like Toy Wheelie, put the head down there, and oh look, now it's Toy Wheelie, the way the head is. But I always felt like this was the best wheelie figure, and it kind of fits in with your masterpiece display, oddly enough, just because of the size of it. Kind of works out that way. That's where he is in my display. But I mean, I feel that one day, a Jizai Toys kind of design could find its way into official tooling. Maybe when we get a deluxe class wheelie one day. Maybe it'll be a much smaller deluxe class. They'll include a little bit of extras, maybe some universal greeting stuff. Who knows? And and we'll get that Jizai kind of style wheelie, much like how Jizai Toys' design was used for Cyclonus at one point. So we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, I still think it looks really good. At the bottom left there, you could see Fluoro Deary's original animation models compared with the actual toy itself. Again, the alt mode just kind of is hit or miss on that one. The alt mode is kind of hit or miss, but otherwise, I mean, still looks pretty good. Still looks pretty good. Otherwise, Princeton Phalanx 59 says got Studio Series Bumblebee movie RC in today. Also getting Amazon Wreck and Rule figures and Studio Series 86 RC next week. Well then, someone's going to be stacked with the toys. I'm pretty sure everyone's also getting their notifications for a lot of their Wreck and Rule stuff that's going to be showing up soon. Much like Golden Disc Collection, it was all, showed up early magically. But so yeah, that's pretty much it for the wheelie. I mean, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. It's probably going to be that core class price point that we have right now of $11.99. We're probably going to see a lot more of this in the future. I thought at first when I first saw this listing, I thought it was going to be like a Revenge of the Fallen wheelie, but I'm happy that it's this one. I'm happy that less than a year later we all because when you really think about it, it's like you had the original wheelie toy in '86, then after that we had in 2009 we had that uh Universe 2.0 Legend Scale wheelie, which was not bad. It was not bad, that figure. I think the Japanese version colored it a little better, but otherwise it was not that bad. Then we got the GDO version, the deluxe class, which was just let's take Jazz's mold and put wheelie on it because sure, why not? That's probably the most interesting wheelie toy ever made. It's like Wheelimus Prime in a lot of ways. It's like older wheelie. And then for the longest time, the best official wheelie figure was that Titans Return one in 2016. So that kind of was like the best version. Technically, the Legends one, the 2016 Legends Japanese version, that one was really good. Had a lot more paint on it. But I mean, this is pretty good too. 2019 we got that Grimlock, wheelie 2-pack, and people thought, oh, that's going to be our wheelie. But I guess a couple of years later, and then boom, we got this now. So works for me. Works for me. I dig it. I dig it. Mike Rosen says, I ordered Studio Series 86 Perceptor and getting G-Axis this week. I want to get G-Axis. G-Axis is probably one of the newer molds that I'm looking forward to picking up the most. He looks really, really good. Looks really, really good. Next up, speaking of speaking of weird stuff, let's talk about Tonkinator. So our Transformers collaborative Tonka mashup Tonkinator, the official name for it, that's going to be coming out December 1st, 2022. We finally got to see the box now, and it's pretty much an Autobot inspired Devastator gift set box. And I hate to say it, but that alone is enough for me to make me want to buy it because it's an Autobot inspired Devastator box, which is pretty cool. In all honesty, if the box was anything else, I probably would have skipped this because I mean, Tonkinator just looks like the UK versions of the G2, I guess, Constructicons with Tonka emblems on them. But I mean, that box is pretty hot. So, mm, I'm not feeling the toy. I'm not feeling the name. But as a mint in box product that you could kind of stare at, have on your shelf and look really nice, especially if you already have the Walmart reissue Devastator one, you can put them side by side. Very nice companion piece. Looks really good. The only negative is the price. The original Walmart G1 reissue Devastator in 2019 was $89.99. This one's going to be $104.99, so a huge inflation increase there for pretty much the same product. And it's not like Hasbro was licensing Tonka; they own it. So it really is just inflation is the name of the game, and that's why it's going to be a little more pricey. But again, looks cool. I dig it. I don't know if I $104 dig it, but maybe when it goes on clearance, maybe I'll pick it up then. You never know. You never know. Well, historically, a lot of these reissues have been going on clearance. They keep making them, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. Mike Rosen says here, imagine how much it would cost if Tonkinator was made of all die-cast Tonka trucks. Well, the original Devastator didn't have any die-cast parts on them except for like very small connector pieces and stuff for the combiner mode. So I don't think they would have went that route anyways. That would just be making it more expensive than it already needs to be. But I think it's still pretty cool. Again, this is a Target exclusive. Keep that in mind. So for us Canadians, I don't know how I'm going to get this, but I'm pretty sure if it's a Target exclusive, maybe it'll show up in Toys R Us, I guess, historically. And then hopefully maybe it'll go on clearance. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'll try to figure out a way to get this thing on the cheap. It's got to be mint in box though. I can't get it loose because I don't really care about the inside robot. It's got to be the whole package. And speaking of Target exclusives, let's talk about dog toys. Um, let's talk about the Transformers Crunch and Squeak Hasbro uh, dog toys. This is an official thing. Hasbro has started to get into the dog toy game. They've done some dog toy squishy toys of some of their iconic brands. You have a Monopoly Man, you got Mr. Potato Head, you got Hungry Hungry Hippos, you got uh, the um, the Operation guy, you got Play-Doh, and you got G1 Optimus Prime. And these are pet safe. They are called Crunch and Squeak, meaning that they make crunch sounds and they make squeak sounds, which make your dog very happy as they are chewing the hell out of Optimus Prime. These go for $9.99 and are available right now. And we have some field testing today. So I guess he likes it. So again, shout out to Andrew Green for that footage. So I guess animal approved. And we got a super chat here from Detective Ferret. Hello, my friend. I have a question for you. How many Transformer series are complete on DVD for both USA and Japan? Ooh, pretty much everything except for Robots in Disguise. Well, first of all, we're talking Region 2 Western releases. Everything except Robots in Disguise because Haim Saban is kind of weird with his trademarks. But everything else is complete otherwise. You can get it in Region 2 Western market. In every other market, everything is complete. So you should be able to get everything. Even the Japanese stuff, the Takara 3, uh, all of that is available at some shape or form. Obviously, some of the more weirder series like Robot Masters, Transformers Go, Q Transformers, those small little web series, those ones maybe not so. But all the core series is. But yeah, anyways, getting back, thank you for the super chat, Detective Ferret. But getting back to the dog Chewy, again, it's a real thing. It's out there. You could buy. It's literally you could go on Target right now and buy this. So if you got a pooch in your life that wants to chew up Optimus Prime and be the Megatron to your Optimus, that's what you could do. So check that out against the Crunch and Squeak Hasbro official dog toy line. They are diversifying to the dog. I guess when you lose the kid market, you got to go for a different demographic, I guess. Got to keep the dogs, I guess. Next up, we got something that was kind of a leak, but not really. So, Entertainment Earth, every year they do giveaways at their booth at San Diego Comic-Con, and they give away badge ribbons. Now, what badge ribbons are it's a cultural thing in big conventions. You have your lanyard with your badge, and then you have like ribbons that you could attach onto it to kind of show your fandom, what you're a fan of, or your screen name or whatever. It first started when conventions would have volunteers and would have volunteer on the badge or whatever, so volunteers could, get access to other areas and stuff that normally regular people could not. And so they're giving away a whole bunch of badge ribbons at their booth every weekend. But one of those badge ribbons that they're giving away, I guess they didn't realize that it's based on a figure that we have not seen yet publicly, and it's that of the DK3 Transformers Legacy Generation Selects figure, which is a blue repaint of the Trailbreaker mold. Although if you look kind of carefully at that face, I don't know, maybe it's just my eyes, maybe I'm blind, but it looks like there's a brand new head sculpt on there. It looks like a little bit of a battle mask, maybe. I could be wrong. And same thing with the windows on the back of that trailer cover. looks like the windows have been sculpted out. But again, maybe it's just the photo. I mean, I blew up, like literally the actual photo is the top left there, and the bottom left here is what I blew up as best I can and cleaned up. And on the bottom right is what it's based on, the original DK3 Diachron, which was a Western release of the Diaclone blue Trailbreaker back in the day, or the Toyota 4x4 as it was called, Toyota 4x4 Robo as it was called back in the Diaclone days. So pretty cool. Get our first little look at DK3. I think he's the last one now of all of our Generation Selects that were leaked out for us for 2022. So, hey, we kind of knew it was going to be this just by the name, but it's finally nice to kind of see a little bit of it. And it looks like, I mean, again, maybe it's a new head sculpt, maybe it's a new camper back. Weapons look the same otherwise. It's using that Earthrise Trailbreaker mold. So, like Mark and Evan say, completing those micro collections, completing your Diaclone and Microman hobby. So, nice little extra there on the side. Pretty cool otherwise. And again, there's the other stuff too, the Sergeant Slaughters, the other t-shirts. Again, if you go by their booth, check them out. They'll be giving away a whole bunch of stuff if you are there SDCC weekend. Next up, we got more listings. Let's jump into those. Let me just pull that up. There we go. We had 3 new listings that showed up. With a listing for a Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Legacy Skullgrin. We got a Deluxe Class Legacy Dead End, and then a Deluxe Class Legacy Point Blank with Peacemaker. While the Dead End isn't too much of a surprise, we knew he was coming because we have our Menasor and everything like that. The Deluxe Class Skullgrin is a surprise because the original listings that we saw for Skullgrin had him as a core class, combined with the fact that the numbers here, the listing number is the exact same thing as the Energon monster. So it's a possibility that Skullgrin is the Energon monster, and maybe the Energon monster was just a placeholder name. So we'll see what happens with that. It's not the first time Skullgrin has gotten a deluxe class figure. He got one in 2010 when he was a retool repaint of the G-Axis mold, which was known as Dark Mount. And then, of course, in 2018, he got that Power of the Primes little Prime Master. So yet another Skullgrin for the new era. Again, get that trademark nice and fresh and rock out. And in the case of Point Blank, we knew that this one was coming because we saw the trademark, but we did not know that he was going to come with a Target Master, even though he is a Target Master. And having him at a deluxe price point with a Target Master means that they're going to not be packing in a pre-existing Siege Battle Master. It's probably going to be a unique mold that'll be included with Point Blank to get Peacemaker. Now the question is, how good is it going to be? It's probably not going to just be a retool. It could be a brand new sculpt, and they find a way to somehow balance it. So we'll see what happens with that. But I mean, hey, Peacemaker. Peacemaker's finally getting another. Like the funny thing is the last time we saw Peacemaker was actually not too long ago. The ridiculously expensive LG66 Legends Target Master Topspin. So Topspin is already expensive in the Western market. Keep that in mind too. But his Legends version in Japan, the LG66 Legends Topspin, was even more expensive, sometimes upwards of $150 to $200, because he came with a bonus figure, which was Target Master Peacemaker. Because at the time, we didn't know it yet, but at the time, we didn't have a Point Blank figure. And on the top right there, Sakamoto was like, well, if we ever do a Point Blank, maybe we could repaint the Titans Returns Hot Rod in the Point Blank, and then that Peacemaker figure that comes with Topspin could be allocated to him, and everyone will be happy. But of course, that didn't happen. You see, there's also Cup that was turned into Crosshairs, and the Brunt mold there turned into Sure Shot. So pretty cool otherwise. We got a super chat from Zonoro Hiso. And he wants to know for 5 bones, thank you. Why not make DK3 a G1 version of TFP Breakdown to go with the Legacy Knockout, Blue Off-Road Truck, Shoulder Cannon, Big Bot mode? It'd be a great breakdown. Well, again, I think what Mark is trying to do is he wants to kind of give a little bit to every single little micro fandom. Legacy is all about a little bit of Transformer Prime, a little bit of G1, a little bit of Diaclone Microman, a little bit of Beast Wars, a little bit of everything. Animated seems to be the only one that seems to be getting the short end of the stick. But I mean, Transformer Prime is still getting a lot of love in future releases. So hopefully we'll see more of that. I mean, we do know that we're going to be getting some Transformer Prime Dreadwing at some point. It's Zono Rizzo. Okay, Zono Rizzo. Sorry about that. Everyone's got special names. I have the simple name of Proto Man. Kind of boring, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of my take on that. And again, I kind of like that they're doing that because when you think about it, we just got a really good Transformers Prime breakdown figure, getting that reissue that gave everyone an opportunity to pick up that rare figure. Where how many people are going to own blue Diaclone Trailbreaker? That's like a $200-300 figure any day of the week. So giving people an opportunity to own a modernized version of those rare figures, I like that. It's kind of like the same thing with Minerva, you know? It's kind of like the same thing with Minerva, where here's this $2,000 character. If you could get a modern version of it put out there and kind of alleviate the need for people to want to get that $2,000 version, hook it up, yo. Hook it up. But yeah, these are coming. MSRP 23. Again, it's going to be probably that 23.99 when it's all said and done, the new deluxe class price point. We'll learn more about it in the near future, faux show. Speaking of expensive listings that are well worth the penny, let's talk about our 15th anniversary Amazon exclusive Transformers the Movie Studio Series 5-pack multi-pack of the Autobots, or the arrival of the Autobots. This is a fantastic set. I can't stress this enough. It's sold out on Hasbro Pulse, but it is available for pre-order right now as we speak on Amazon. Guys, don't sleep on this, because right now, you know, that Ironhide and that Jazz, let me just pull up to this slide before. That Ironhide and that Jazz on their own go for stupid money. Way more than this box set. So if you're someone that's like, man, I really want to get an Ironhide, I really want to get a Jazz, but the numbers are dumb. Dude, get this set and sell the rest then, because it's going to be worth it. I'm telling you, this isn't me like simping for Hasbro or something. It's just when this is a Transformer finance segment we're going to have right now. This is worth it, because when you think about it, number one, you're talking about, you got 2 Voyagers and you got 3 Deluxes with the modern price points it is today. That's way more than your cost of entry. You get the 2 backgrounds, you get the Arrival of the Autobot background, and you get the Witwicky household background. So you could reenact all the shenanigans from this. Number 3, all of these come in even more accurate paint decos than their original individual releases through Studio Series, because now it doesn't have the limitations of the price point budget of a deluxe class or a Voyager. So that's another great thing too. Number 4, you also get like the brand new head sculpt on Bumblebee, so you don't have the battle mask. You actually get the actual face on that one. Optimus comes with the battle blades. Guys, like seriously, I'm telling you, I'm just going to pull this up again. These are very recent numbers on the left. Look, a loose one sold for $202. You people are crazy. 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 You'd be silly now to go out and buy this individual one. Go get this box set. Do yourself a favor. I'm telling you. And look, it comes out, the release date is October 1st, 2022. Early Christmas present for yourself. Do yourself the favor. Do yourself that favor. I understand it's not for everybody. Princeton Phalanx 59 says, I'll pass, not for me. Don't care for Bayformers, but I'm glad for those who want them. Exactly. It's not for everybody, but if you are someone that is interested in this stuff, save yourself the money of buying individually from these guys online who are pretty much just taking you to task on eBay, and take advantage of this. This is some good stuff. And the sad thing is because it's an Amazon exclusive, and I've heard the complaints before, when it's gone, it's gone. So we've been given a second chance with Ironhide and Jazz. Don't pass it up. People were saying, I want a reissue of Ironhide and Jazz. Here it is. Here it is. Here's your opportunity. Don't pass it up. If you could get it, get it. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's really good stuff. And I mean, look, I'm even getting it. I didn't get Ironhide. I didn't get an opportunity to get Ironhide. It happened in 2018. I was busy with other stuff, picking up other figures. I'm not worried about Ironhide. And Ironhide came and went. And then those numbers went crazy. And I went, well, I'm going to wait that out. And luckily I did. Luckily I did. I'm very happy. The Podsky wants a super chat question, gold super chat for $9.99. Is there a moral technique for pricing figures on eBay? I'd like to make a profit, but I also don't want to be accused of scalping. Well, you have to understand if you're selling figures that you bought to enjoy and then you're selling it afterwards, there's a difference between scalping and selling something and it just happens to be worth money. There's a difference there. The problem is Ironhide had a very low distribution. He came out in 2018, was a much later wave figure, had a very low distribution, and people were going into stores and buying them all up. And like literally like 2 weeks after he came out, like you could see the numbers. 2 weeks after he came out, already people were asking 50, 60, $70 for him. He was getting scalped like crazy, like crazy. And so Ironhide was one of these feel bad moments. Jazz wasn't so much. Jazz was more organic. He came out, people were like, he's not that great. He's too small. A lot of people didn't buy him, and then time passed, and then he went up in value just because of demand. But I'm telling you, like, he was getting scalped like crazy. Thank you for the subscriber, JG. But yeah, look, make your money. If you have it and you bought it for yourself, make your money. But me, it's more just I have a personal experience. People who live in Montreal know who this guy is. I don't want to call him out, but there's a guy in Montreal. This dude is at the toy cons and stuff. He is King Scalper. King Scalper. I remember there was a Voyager sale on Generation figures. I remember walking into Toys R Us and he was walking out with 3 gigantic bags. He bought all the Voyagers. And then 3 weeks later it was Montreal Toy Con. He had all of them. And they were $5 a piece and he was asking full price. There's guys like him. Oh, what's that? What's that? The G1 reissues are on sale. He goes in, he hits every Walmart and clears it out. And Montreal is like New York City. So it's an island. If you have a car, you could get around everywhere very quick. And he was just clearing out the city. And guys like him, they frustrate me because it's one thing if I can't get it. I have other opportunities to get stuff. I'm lucky to have a great fandom that helps me out, and I have conventions and TFCon and everything. But there's a lot of people that don't go to conventions. There's a lot of people that don't have the opportunity to go to TFCon. There's a lot of people that don't have the online presence and the ability to talk to other people and work stuff out. And those guys get screwed. They really do. So that's why I've always had a bit of a, with scalpers, because I've seen it firsthand and I've seen how those people, they're not passionate about the hobby. They're not even fans. They just know that, oh, this thing's going to be money. That thing's going to be money. They're buying Marvel Legends. They're buying Star Wars Black Series. They're buying Transformers. Oh, that He-Man figure is going to be worth money. Going to buy those too. That's me with scalpers. Like Podsky, you're not a scalper. You're someone who bought a Transformer. You went, you know what, I like it, but you know what? If I could get double my money for something that I bought initially to enjoy, that's different. You didn't buy it with ill intent. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. No Decepticon love. Are we talking about the box set? Well, you know what? I know a lot of people are talking about it, but think about it this way, right? Let's say they did a Decepticon box set, right? So Scorponok, if you're keeping him to scale, he's going to come with Blackout. Blackout's a leader class. So right away, you have a multi-pack box set that has a leader class Blackout. Then you're talking Megatron. You're talking another big price point figure. Then you're talking not Blackout, Barricade. All right, there's your deluxe. But then you're talking Brawl, another leader class figure. By the time you get to Bone Crusher, it starts to become a really expensive box set, let alone when you're talking Starscream. So a movie Decepticon box set would be like $300. Movie 2007, excuse me. So while it's a great idea, it would be very expensive. They'd have to do like multiple packs, part 1, part 2, just to alleviate the costs in a lot of ways. It would be very expensive. But I do agree with you. It would be cool, but it would also be, a little pricey. Now, the last thing we're going to cover is some new Transformer plush. How do I do this? So San Diego Comic-Con is next weekend. Symbiote Studios is going to be there, and all the new plushes are going to be there. Here they all are in person. These are them. We got Hound. Look how big they are. Look how big my big old head. I'm 6'2", but my big old head here. Yeah, with these big guys. I just match it with my pin today. So we got Shockwave. We got Hound. We got the other ones. I didn't open them up yet. We got Thundercracker. These are all going to be coming out if they're not showing up at your door later this week. And Skywarp, excuse me, I got them mixed up. We got Wheeljack. You know, the whole crew is here. Booyah. So again, all the new plushes, they are all showing up now. But there's more. There is more. There is more. So Wave 5, there's 2 new in the making. I'll give you a little spoiler. 86 movie. That's all I'm going to say. 2 more on the way. I'm pretty sure you can figure out who those boys are, but they're on their way for 2023 for Wave 5. But all the others are now shipping and will be available also at San Diego Comic-Con at the Symbiote Studios booth. It's just all their other stuff too. Their pins, you could get the Unicron, you could get all that crazy stuff too. And of course, all the other Hasbro licensed stuff like G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, My Little Pony, Magic the Gathering. I love my Magic the Gathering. But there's more. There's more. So, at the SDCC booth, there will be some exclusive debuts where you could pick it up in limited quantities. These are new product. So first of all, number one, the booth, Symbiote Studios Hasbro booth will be booth 3249. So be sure to swing by there. They're going to do all kinds of giveaways too and everything. If you're in the area, again, July 21st to the 24th. But here's the big reveal. Also, if you're a big Power Ranger fan, the Dragon Zord plush will be making its debut at the booth. You could pick that one up for $29.99, and it's going to be just as big. Let me just pull up good old Shockwave because he's going to be my favorite. Just as big as good old Shockwave here and the others. And of course, the G.I. Joe pins are also going to be available. The nice enamel pins, the high quality pins that Symbiote Studios always does, just like the Shockwave one I'm wearing here. They're metal. Very strong, these pins, not like those cheap, like plasticky ones. That's going to be $9.99 for those G.I. Joe and Cobra pins. You can pick up a Snake Eyes plush with a little timber. A lot of cool stuff going on there. Again, Symbiote Studios. But again, hey man, Dragon Zord's now out soon. Well, next week he's going to be out. So be sure to pick that one up. Again, limited quantities, SDCC. Check out their booth, booth 3249. And tell them Proto Man sent you. Maybe you'll get a discount or maybe you'll get a slap in the face. I don't know. Maybe a slap in the face. But either way, check it out, yo. Check it out. And again, the last thing to just kind of plug is the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Anyone who was at TFCon just last weekend and came by the Toy Armada booth, the Aaron Archer booth, you know, picked up a nice book, got a nice little card here. I got my Toy Armada t-shirt. I should have wore it today. Oh, well. Maybe I'll wear it next time. But, you know, you can scan that QR code if you want. Go enjoy some Toy Armada goodness. We're still talking about some Transformer alternators. Episode 7 is live. Be sure to check that out, as well as all the other stuff. Go check it out. If you like the toys that made us, if you like the movies that made us on Netflix, these are good companion pieces because Aaron was on one of those. So they talk about Jurassic. We talk about Jurassic Park. We talk about aliens. We talk about, you know, all kinds of stuff. Batman and Transformers. All that good stuff. Again, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. If you subscribe this channel, you should be subscribing that channel. You know? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So that's it, more or less. Really have anything else to show off in terms of, because I pretty much showed up everything I got from TFCon on the Monday stream. So not really much to show off there. We're just going to do some super chats for the rest of the time. We got a good hour and 10 minutes left or so. So we'll do some super chats. We'll just relax for the rest of the evening and all the goodness. all the goodness that we got there. All the goodness. Let's see what we got here. First of all, Scourge and Cyclonus. What are we talking about here? Scourge and Cyclonus. It's an okay figure. Didn't like trailer. I guess I'm missing a conversation here. But might as well until the rest of the super chats come in. I just the whole thing with scalping and stuff is just you know I know someone also like I know some of the craziest Nintendo scalpers. Let me tell you in Montreal, and those guys are absolutely insane. But those guys, I've like had tables next to them for many years in conventions. And the one thing that I learned through those guys, and they used to say it is, it's one thing for me to scalp it and buy something for 20 and sell it for 60. It's another that there's guys lining up to pay me 60. And that was the thing is that people will not scalp if people don't pay. And the sad thing is there's so many people that are willing to pay. And that's why scalping keeps happening because there's dudes that are lining up to pay 8 times the original MSRP. And this guy deals in amiibo and, special edition Nintendo stuff and limited run games and all of that. And people pay. And it just makes me cringe, when it's like, ooh, it was 20 and now you're paying 80. God, like just wait. Just wait. Everything balances out in the end sooner or later. Like, geez. But it was crazy. It was crazy. It's crazy to see that, and he makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of money, but it's only because he always, I guess his mentality is you don't need 100 smart people. You just need one dumb person with a wallet, and then you just take their money. And he is right because it's not like he's trying to sell to 100 people. He doesn't have 100 of that product. He only has one or two that he's scalping. But man, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, especially with the amiibos. Like when the amiibos were at that peak of height, he was I was legitimately seeing people because these like I would have this huge. We have a huge anime convention here in Montreal called Otakuthon, and my booth would be right next to his, and I would see people from the other side of the convention space, this huge warehouse convention, and I'd see people running from one side of the convention to the other because they would see the wall of amiibos from far away just to buy them. How much is your pit? How much is your Palutena? How much is your I don't even remember what the other your nest, your this, your that. Oh, 60, 80. Do you take credit card? Boom. It was like, "Oh my god, maybe I'm selling the wrong thing." It was nuts. JC Red Lion with the $5 super chat with the new Transformers 2007 movie 15th anniversary coming out soon. Do you think that there will be re-releases of the MPM figures? Masterpiece reissues in general usually happen when they make sense for a topical kind of release. I know that when Sunstreaker came out, the Masterpiece, they re-released the side swipe so they could have that pairing. Uh, it really has to do with demand. If Takara Tomy feels that if they fire up the machines and do another run of 8,000 Masterpiece Megatrons, if they feel that there's money to be made there, they'll do it. But the sad truth is a lot of movie masterpieces, and maybe this is just my own personal experience documenting this, but chime in if I'm wrong. A lot of those things go on clearance at some point. I know Starscream did. I know Megatron did. I know Barricade did. Who am I forgetting? Optimus didn't. The Bumblebee didn't. But I mean, there's certain ones that they went on clearance, you know? So it kind of tells me that there probably isn't too much of an incentive to then fire up the machine because it's not like they're just making a short run of 100 to put out there. They got to do like minimum 8,000, 10,000 to cover like every Target, every Walmart, Toys R Us's here in Canada. So it's a tough one to say. I don't really think the movie masterpieces will get reissues unless there's a topical reason to. Oh, this character is going to complement this character, so maybe having both of them out at the same time would make sense. But at the same time, there's too much noise already. We got a Rise of the Beast movie coming. They're going to focus on that. If we're going to see movie masterpieces, it's going to be pumping out movie masterpieces related to that movie, as opposed to looking back and going, hey, we got to do, Ratchet again. We got to do this guy again. We got to do that guy again from a movie that was 15 years ago. I think that the 15th anniversary box set by Studio Series is meant to cleanse that palette and make people feel they got that. They could deal with that instead. Uh, hope that kind of answers that question. Tom Laney, these Wrecker Amazon exclusives coming out early. Wish we get a schedule. Killing my wallet. Yeah, well, I mean that happened. Look, the Golden Disc collection was the same thing. We had the Golden Disc collection. It was supposed to come out. I don't remember the dates, but it ended up coming out like 4 months early, and then it just throttled everyone's wallets. But you know what I always say? It's better early than late. If it's early, people are happy. But if it's late, people are going to complain. So it's better to be early, even if it damages your wallet. That's the thing, man. This is an expensive hobby. That's why I say if you have a kid, make sure he collects Transformer toys because he'll never have money for drugs. Let me tell you, he'll never have money for drugs. That'll be his plastic crack. Will be the only thing he needs. Oh, just hook this Ninja Turtle to my veins. It's the only way. But I mean, and the thing is that movie masterpieces are the only masterpieces we're gonna get in retail now, because all the other masterpieces we get are Hasbro Pulse or bust. It's only if you don't get it on Hasbro Pulse or through a Japanese import, you're not gonna get it otherwise. So movie masterpieces have unfortunately proven to be not super successful, primarily because they're a little more expensive in a retail market that isn't really running. And not to mention with inflation now. I mean, I didn't even think about that. Like whatever movie Megatron was, he's going to be add like 20 to 30 bucks on him, if not 50 bucks. So you have to factor in that too. He's not even going to be cheaper than what he was before. In all honesty, whatever his MSRP was, try to figure that out and add $20. And then if someone is selling it on eBay for $20 more, you might be breaking even compared to what the reissue would be. At least that's my take, probably would happen. No joke. Like it would definitely go up. Look how our Beast Wars reissues went from $21.99 to $24.99. Like the Cheetor Rat Trap Wave was $21.99, and then now the Tigatron Cybershark Wave, same price point, is now $24.99. Went up $4, and that's a reissue line. So just keep that in mind too. Keep that in mind. Look at those prices, compare, contrast, make a smart financial decision. Always be good to your wallet. Always think about your wallet first, because again, this stuff ain't cheap. Doesn't come cheap. And a lot of times people are going like, "Oh my God, I'm running out of money. I'm running out of money with this hobby." You got to pace yourself. It's the best way. Yeah, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I got a whole bunch of messages here too. Gotta take care of all of these later. Take care of all of them. But yeah. But what else was there? I'm just trying to remember what else. You know, there was so much between TFCon and SDCC news and all the stuff that was revealed at TFCon in terms of third party stuff. I mean, there was just this huge amount of product that was being showed off, and it gets to a point where it's like, you gotta pick your battles in a lot of ways. You really do, because otherwise you're going to be in a situation where, the way I see it anyhow is, I mean, I've seen way too many times people they go all in on a product and then they realize there was a cheaper, better alternative, and then they spent too much money on that. It's always better to wait. Especially, I mean, I don't want to knock third party. They're very talented individuals in the stuff that they do, but it's always the more expensive route, and it's always the more expensive rush route, meaning like, there's people like, I really want to get this masterpiece whatever now, and I'm not willing to wait for Takara Tomy to do it, so I'll get, this third party company's version, and you end up paying a lot for it. You really do. Aiden Tolbert with the super chat for 2 bones. Imagine if Hasbro make a Beast Wars like series. Well, what do you mean by Beast Wars like series? A CG series? We do get that. A CG series with limited assets to tell a story? We do get that. I think it's more just would it be the quality of Beast Wars? 26 episodes, Ocean Group voice acting crew, which is union voice acting, Mainframe Entertainment, which is top of the line CG, not limited budget CG like the Netflix stuff. That's probably what you probably mean, or like Transformers Prime. Transformers Prime is in that same vein too. Uh, well, maybe that's what EarthSpark will be. Maybe EarthSpark will be that. Um, I kind of hope there's a little less human involvement with EarthSpark, but I sadly fear that might not be the case. You know, might not be the case at all. Uh, JC Red Lion with the $2 super chat. How will they tackle the plastic with transmetals? I'm going to imagine that they're probably not going to do the vacuum chrome like they used to do. If you look at the Armada toy line, Armada took a whole bunch of those transmetal molds and they reissued and repaint them in the Armada line. It was Cheetor, Transmetal Cheetor, Transmetal Megatron, Transmetal Air Razor, Transmetal Rhinox, and I believe that was it. I want to say I'm forgetting somebody. I don't know. I might be forgetting one. Oh, and Transmetal Pterosaur. And they didn't put the vacuum metal plastic on it so that they wouldn't have flaking and everything. So I imagine they might do a metallic paint, which, would kind of suck and kind of defeat the purpose of the reissue. But some of the other reissues have been kind of departures of the colors also. So people really want transmetals. That's cool, but they might not look like their original incarnations. They're going to be departures. If they could do a really good metallic paint scheme on Cheetor and maybe give him a better, paint scheme or something on his face that's more show accurate, maybe people will forgive that and ignore it and go like, oh, well, you know what? Looks pretty good to me. And then maybe I might make a purchase too because it'll be different instead of buying the same figure over and over and over. But we will see. Tom Laney, I've seen a video on Lego minifigs starting to crack, all the toy companies going on the cheap. Well, again, that has to do with the plastic. Lego historically in the past, when it comes to most of their lines, Denmark has used a very good plastic, very good ABS for all of their Lego stuff. Some of their Bionicle stuff in 2005, 2006, 2007 suffered from a form of GPS, but that was really, ball joints and, pressure, stuff that they weren't really used to with the action figure market because they're so used to just being a building block market. So they kind of suffered from the same mistakes that toy companies that make action figures suffer from. But I mean, if they're having cracking and stuff, that means they're probably using, they're making the same mistakes plastic wise that now a lot of the modern companies are using. Look, Lego, in order to survive, is obviously going to have to probably take cheaper routes too with their blocks. It's a sad truth. It's a sad, sad truth. And Lego has been pretty good with their quality in general, but sooner or later, we're not going to be paying. Like, I mean, sets that are already $300 with Lego, if they have to upgrade the quality of their plastic to like be how it was back in like, let's say the 90s, they might have to like make that $300 box set of whatever into a $400 box set. And then you ask yourself, who's paying that? Who's paying that? Like it's it's getting to a point, and this has always been my fear with the toy industry, that it's going to get so expensive as plastic continues to rise in costs, that it's going to get so expensive that toys are going to be more of a luxury hobby than it will be a kid's hobby. And whatever toys that will exist will that will be affordable will be much more simplified. Stuff that used to be like, McDonald's level 90s toys will probably be the standard on shelving for kids. I mean, we already see that already with a lot of product. We got a gold super chat from Joseph Ritter. Off to SDCC. See you there next year. Hold down the fort. Hope they show something surprising. Question: how do you think G1 descriptions of Insecticons would have changed if all of them were in the show? I guess you're referring to the you're referring to the deluxe Insecticons if they were in the show. Um, well, they were 1985 releases, assuming that they would have been allowed to use those molds from Insect Betas, which is what the line it was based on. Um, I would imagine they would be maybe even powered up Insecticons. Who knows? Maybe they would have written a story where Shockwave powers up, three of the Insecticons, and they become those versions. Uh, Shrapnel, and oh my God, Kickback, Shrapnel, and Bombshell. And have them upgraded to three of the four, and then there'll be an extra member added as their leader that could control them. Who knows? They could write a story like that. You know, but we don't live in that world, unfortunately. It's the same thing. It's like imagine if Roadbuster and Whirl were in the Generation 1 cartoon. How would have they been introduced? Whirl, who's a flying character, and how flying Autobots were still a big deal back then. How would have he been introduced? And how that would have fit into Roadbuster. How, who would he been voiced? Would he been voiced by like Peter Cullen and given him a more also kind of Ironhide, gruff kind of warrior voice? Who knows? Who knows? Who would have been the voices of those four Insecticons? Would have been Clive Revell? Would have been Frank Welker? You know, would Chris Latta do a voice? Who knows? In an alternate continuity where those patents and those molds could have been used by Hasbro for their TV show, who knows? Who knows? But good question. It's good. It's a profound question. Something where we could always go like, what could have been? What could have been in a lot of ways. But thank you for the gold super chat question, Joseph. And I hope you have fun at San Diego Comic-Con. I will gladly join you next year if the world goes back to normal. That has constantly been the conversation for me, which has been, I don't miss conventions. I don't. Before the big V happened in 2020, every BotCon, every TFCon, I was there. I was there. Didn't matter where it is. Florida, West Coast, East Coast, Vancouver, Winnipeg. It don't matter where it is. I'll be there. But then the big V just stopped me from being able to travel properly. And, that sucks. That really sucks, you know? So I hope to join your brother next year. We'll rock out, have a good time in San Diego, one of my favorite places in the world to be. I love the West Coast. Love to be back there again. And maybe you'll pay for dinner. We'll go to a nice sushi place. Cringe McCringle with the $5 super chat. What character do you think will be the next Masterpiece or MPM character? Next Masterpiece, I mean, there's what I would like to see, and then there's what it'll probably be. It'll probably be another G1 character. Um, I mean, logically, like here's the way I look at it. We have a Beast Wars movie coming out, Beast Wars Rise of the Beast movie. If they don't do masterpieces that are based off of those characters for the masterpiece movie stuff, which is the logical answer, do a masterpiece that's based on those characters in their original incarnations. So, who's missing of our original cast of Maximals? Rhinox. And Rhinox is going to be in that Rise of the Beast movie. So, Masterpiece Rhinox would be pretty cool. Really nail it. Take the best of both worlds. Take the best of what the Kingdom version did and the best of what the Generations version did, and try to find a happy medium. I'm pretty sure they already have. And just man, make that perfect Rhinox figure with chain guns, and give him some like, fixing stuff so he could like, he could fix Optimus Primal, and, tuning weapons and everything. It would be so cool. It would be so cool to find me a perfect Rhinox. I mean, right now in my Beast Wars display of masterpieces, I'm using that Generations Rhinox because he kind of fits in, and I'm using the Generations Rat Trap because the core class one, as good as it is, it's a little too tiny, unfortunately, a little too small, little too small. But movie masterpiece, it's going to be one of those Rise of the Beast characters. Let's say Optimus Primal. That's probably the best bet. Optimus Primal. Masterpiece, it's probably going to be someone G1. I don't know. I keep, Hoist from Trailbreaker. Sure. But I mean, me personally, do the next Rhinox. That would be the smart move, in my opinion. But I don't think it'll be, but that would be the smart move. Princeton Phalanx 59, how many figures do you think Hasbro will reveal at SDCC? A lot. Obviously, a bunch of stuff that we've already seen. Just because you have to understand too, the audience that they're going to be showing, like the big panel room that they're going to be showing, is not going to be just the hardcore fans that are there every Transformer Tuesday, every live stream. This is also going to be for the press. This is going to be for the news websites. This is going to be for the IGN.coms and the geeknews.coms and the, all of those. So they're going to obviously be showing a bunch of stuff that we've already seen to kind of, hey, this is what we're working on. Here's some of the stuff that we've already revealed and already have out right now. And then they're going to show us some new stuff. Look historically in the past. In a post-BotCon world, post-2016, SDCC has shown off a lot of stuff. Even during San Diego Comic-Con when we had the Big V, they showed off a lot of stuff. So they're going to show off a lot of stuff this time. How many? I don't know. I do not know. Joseph, Protoman should offer a win a trip to SDCC to feed Protoman contest. Oh, good. Maybe a trip with me. How about that? People would dig that. What's up, Larry? People would dig that. They'd have to come to Montreal, though, to fly out if they want to fly out with me. And then they have to sit next to me for 4 hours in a plane flight while I do this. And then they're going to be like, I'm never going to watch his podcast again. So maybe it wouldn't be wise. I'd lose a fan. They'd be like, oh my God, does he ever shut up? But man, I can't wait. I can't wait for SDCC because there's going to be a lot of stuff. We're going to get Earth. We're going to probably see a ton of Earthrise product. A lot of the figures and everything. We're probably going to see a scant amount. I think the least we're going to see the most of is Legacy. I think Legacy, we're just going to probably maybe see a few figures here and there. But I think we're going to see like Wave 1 and all the price points of EarthSpark. I think we're going to see all the non-studio series, non-movie masterpiece Rise of the Beast stuff. So the Rise of the Beast gimmick-based toy line, which is the one that's so like how the Bumblebee movie had a toy line, but it was very gimmicky. I think we're gonna see the Bumblebee movie version toy line of Rise of the Beast that weekend. We're gonna see some of that Wave 1. That's what I think. That's where I think we're gonna kind of have all of that. Tom Laney, Walmart Con coming up. See the Velocitron figures. Yeah, like the Velocitron figures are probably going to be like shown also at SDCC. Here's what we're doing with our partners with Walmart. Like, you have to understand, like, San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest, did I say Earthrise? I meant EarthSpark, excuse me. I meant EarthSpark, not Earthrise. Um, San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest convention in the world, bar none. But it's not only just the biggest convention in the world, it's the biggest media gathering for our geek culture. And that's big when you're trying to show off, like if you have a movie trailer, no better place to show it off than San Diego Comic-Con. If you're revealing new product, if you're a smaller company like Jada Toys or Jazzware, or the big companies like Mattel and Hasbro, you got to bring your stuff and you got to have a booth because no joke, tens of thousands of people, and tens of thousands is a low number. I'm talking like SDCC gets like almost 100,000 people, but hundreds of thousands of people are going to walk by your booth and you got to have, your stuff in that booth so that people are walking by and might go, oh, wait a minute, that's kind of cool. You know, like that's what you got to do. And if you're a small company or a big company, you got to be there. And the big companies are not going to pass up that opportunity to get that free press, to get like to show off their stuff. And then next thing you know, on IGN.com or any of those websites, They're going to talk, oh, just revealed today from Hasbro from their panel, these new toys, snapshot. It's going to be all over Twitter. It's going to be trending. It's going to be on Facebook. They can't pass up that free advertising that comes from getting a booth there. Now, the booth is not free, but the amount of advertising they're going to get from fans and from media that aren't even fans, who are just casual fans or businesses that need their clicks for their website, they can't pass that opportunity up. And that's what SDCC is at its core, is promoting those products like crazy. Elves Bleed 57, haven't seen you in a while, Elves Bleed. I think we should temper our expectations for SDCC. Wave 3 of Legacy that most of us saw, no Inferno, Armada, Starscream, Dragon, Megatron, Skullgrin, Point Blank, and Dead End. Yeah, but even if they show Dragon, Megatron, if they show Point Blank or Skullgrin, that's still exciting to me. You know what I mean? That's still exciting. Anytime we could see more product, even if it's 3 figures, 4 figures, 5 figures. Look, to see 4 or 5 figures in a weekend, I'm happy with that. But I think we're going to see a lot more than just that. I think with Legacy, Legacy is going to be the least because we've already seen so much. But we're going to go all out with Earthrise. We're going to probably get a good chunk of like that gimmick-based line of Rise of the Beast at least. And what's important with both Earthrise and Rise of the Beast is all those toys we are going to see are some of those toys are going to be the first time we're going to be seeing those characters. They could show me Skullgrin from, Legacy, but I know what Skullgrin looks like. I know what these characters, but show me some of these new characters in EarthSpark. Show me these movie characters. Show me that stuff. That's the stuff that I want to see. You know, that's the stuff that I want to see more than anything else. What up, David? That's what I want to see. Here we go. Here's a good one. Prince and Phalanx 59. Did anything happen to Prime versus Prime? Has been quiet on showing stolen property because there's nothing to steal right now. That's the thing. That's the thing. When you base an entire channel based on theft and property, sooner or later that well dries up. Look, long before Prime versus Prime was doing that, it was other guys, and those guys aren't around anymore. Or they built an entire channel on it, and now they're not even talking about toys anymore because they just went to where the money is elsewhere. I'm not going to name names, but you know who they are. It's just how it is. Just how it is. Hey, Proto and Proto Fam. How you doing? But yeah, I mean, the way I see it is, it's gonna be a crazy weekend. I look forward to it. Um, most of that news is probably going to drop on the Thursday and Friday, so we'll definitely report it then. That's when we're going to do all the talking about it, and then the Saturday night live stream is going to be bananas. It's going to be a very busy Saturday night live stream that weekend coming up. So that'll be pretty cool. But again, I'm just excited for it. I can't wait to see what's revealed. There's still so much meat on the bone that has to be shown, that we know about, that's still to come. And look, like I said, right now, Rise of the Beast and EarthSpark are just these black holes of knowledge. We don't know much. And next week, we're probably going to know a lot. There's just so much there. So much more. So much more. And who knows, like, again, a lot of those media websites too and in-demand toys, they might they might get some of those stock images before San Diego Comic-Con, so they're probably going to like leak those out early, much like how, look, like with our Flame War that we have. So there's a lot. There's a lot. Elsbleed 57 goes on to say, I want to see Dragon, Megatron and Skullgrin get hyped. I was just saying, I've seen the fandom get mad. Hasbro didn't reveal stuff we didn't know about. If you're on the forums, you're already so well. It doesn't look. It doesn't matter what the fans get mad about, especially forums. There's different walks of life on forums, and some of them you just gotta. In French, we say laisse faire. Just leave them alone. They're just there to go, about everything. It's like, oh my God, that's so cool. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate my life. That's most of those guys. So I don't listen. Like the forums are just white noise. It's just in the background, who cares? Like that, the thing is, you know, a positive attitude. Like I like it. I like it when someone says, "I'm not interested in it, but I appreciate." For people that are interested in it, I'm happy for them. That's a good positive way to look at it. But there's some people that they just want it all to be burned down. This is garbage. I'm not buying this. I'm not buying another Transformer toy ever until tomorrow. You know, like there's people that are crazy like that. Tom Lady wants to know any talk on a season 2 of BotBots. I don't know yet. BotBots was trending like when it first debuted. It was trending number 7 on kids properties, and I believe it's still okay. Like if you go to trending children's cartoons on Netflix, I think it's in the top 30, which I don't know if that means anything really. So it's still doing okay. I'm going to assume that there's going to be a season 2. But I'll say this again, I've said it in the past. I think BotBots as a brand was kind of handled poorly. I think that the timing of how everything was executed should have been done better. I mean, you release a Netflix series and there's no BotBot toys on the shelves. Really? I don't know. The only way you could get a Burgertron is off of eBay for $20 when he was an MSRP of $4.99. Really? So that's just my take. And I love BotBots. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Starscope, he's my boy. I like Starscope. Uh, but the end of the day, poorly mismanaged. Princess Phalanx 59, is your voice going to be able to hold up with all the updates you have to do? You know what, Princeton, my voice it went away because of TFCon, because I do this to myself every year. Every time I go to conventions, it's nonstop talking to people for 24 hours. It's You arrive at the con, you're talking to people. You go down to the bar, you're talking to people. You go to the dealer room, you're talking to people. You're doing a panel with Aaron Archer, you're talking to people. Probably the only time I get to be quiet for a moment when Aaron's talking. Um, and even then, I'm bad at that. uh, it's something where I spend all weekend talking, combined with the fact that I was wearing a mask, and you have the ambience of the con, and you're kind of yelling through the mask to kind of just so the other person could hear you. This throat was gonna die. If you listen to my voice on Monday, the Monday segment that passed, the EarthSpark segment, listen to the EarthSpark segment on Monday that just passed Monday, and then listen to my voice now, and you're gonna be like, it's night and day. It healed, but it was night and day. It's like, oh, like, how you doing, guys? I'm okay. Everyone thought I got the big V, but it was just, I do this to myself every single year. Even back in the day at BotCon, I used to do that to myself. It'd just be yap, 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 like a little dog or a big dog in my case. Tom Laney, is that why they release these big sets for bots, not singles anymore? No, like they did the blind packs up until series 6, and there were supposed to be more blind packs. There was plans for more blind packs, and they just never surfaced. You know what? I would love, like we have this great transparency with the designers of the legacy stuff and studio series. I would love to have a conversation with the guys who are planning bots, engineering bots, and releasing them. I'd love to talk with those guys because talk about a confusing, like a great creative canvas, but talk about a confusing brand for scheduling and marketing and all of that stuff. It was nuts. It was nuts. It really was nuts. I mean, I personally, and I've said it before, I would have handled it differently. Either like I would have had a named Transformer character be the face of the brand. Like everyone else could be original characters, but have like Botanica from Beast Machines, just be the face of the brand. It's Botanica and then all these new characters. And then Botanica doesn't even have to be the main character of the show. She could be the Alpha Trion to Burgertron and all the Lost Bots or something. Like there could have been a whole different way they could have tackled it. And on top of doing it like that, like the way I see it is, then you would have attracted people that would have been hesitant about it, you know? Because there was a lot of people that didn't want anything to do with it just because it was different or it was for kids or I don't know these characters. Princeton Phalanx 59 with the $2 super chat. When is the next episode of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer? The next episode of the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, we don't have anything planned yet. We're going to be recording something soon. I don't want to spoil what it is. It will be Transformer related. Because we've been kind of talking back and forth with some ideas for the next couple of episodes. We're just still kind of still decompressing from TFCon. I mean, my living room still like there's still little remnants of the show still there. You know, that show like I just came back. I didn't really get a chance to recover too well. But yeah, you know, we'll have more in the future. We'll have more. You know, like I said, just what we have put out, share it around. Make sure your friends and everyone are subscribed. We want to break that 1,000 subscriber mark so we could then unlock live streaming. Because if we could unlock live streaming, that'd be pretty cool. Then we could do live streaming from it, and that'd be really awesome. I mean, I wanted to live stream with Aaron Archer from TFCon, but unfortunately, the internet said otherwise on across all of Canada. But we will see what happens with that. But you know, it was a crazy weekend at TFCon, and my voice suffered heavily for it, heavily. But if you've been to a BotCon with me, you know, like BotCon 2011, which was like a really busy, fun year, I did the same thing to my voice there. You start coming back from the con, and you're just like, ooh, you know, what I do to myself? The vocal cords start to like, you know, they're all swollen. But that's, you know, when you get to hang out with people that, you know, have the same interests as you and they have a million questions and they want to talk, you know, you can't say no, you know. You want to hang out, you want to go down to the bar, hang out, you want to like help them with purchases. There's a whole bunch of photos now that are starting to circulate from TFCon, and so many of the photos is me talking to people that were asking like, "Hey, is my purchase good? Should I have bought this or whatever?" Like you see me on the side like helping people with like, "Oh, this GoBot figure I get, was that a good price?" You know, there's a lot of that weekend with Tony. Tony knows who I'm talking about. Mr. Tony, who buys way too much. um no, you know what? It was a fun weekend. I would love to be in Chicago, but the way it's like, you know, the way it's looking right now with travel between Canada and the USA, they keep changing the rules and stuff. And I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to go in the end. But at the same time, I don't want to make a promise I can't keep. In the same way that I said, you know, going to Toronto was 50-50, then it was like, oh, 70, you know, 30. Like, we don't know what's happening with Chicago. Chicago isn't looking good, though, for me to go because they're just making it really difficult to cross the border. You know, if I catch something, I am stuck in a hotel for 2 weeks and that's lost money, you know, that I have to pay for. There's a lot of rolling of the dice with that. I mean, people who saw me at TFCon, I was wearing a mask a majority of the time because I didn't want to roll the dice in my own country, you know, and be respectful to Aaron who had to sit next to me that whole weekend on top of that, you know. What if I gave him something that I caught from shaking someone else's hand later on, you know? So I just wanted to play it safe. When we get out of that, you know, lockdown rules kind of stuff and we could kind of, you know, wing it, then it'll be then we'll be free to kind of do that stuff. But as long as those rules are in place and kind of like messing with everything, I gotta kind of just back off and wait till everything is good to go. Because, you know, if being forced into a hotel paid by that you have to pay for 2 weeks in quarantine, is not fun for anybody. I know one friend, shout out to Andy. I know one friend that he had to do that. He went to South Korea and he had to pay out of his pocket, quarantine for 2 weeks in a hotel, and he was not happy about that. He went to go see family, and then they tested him right there, and that was that. And by the way, he has his shots and everything, so it's like it's nuts. Tom Laney, as always, thanks for your time, Proto. Awesome as always. Later, all. Thank you, Tom, for coming by and asking great questions. Princeton Phalanx 59, has your dad ever gone to one of the Transformer conventions with you? Um, no, unfortunately. You know what? I would love to take him with to the shows. He was actually going to come to the one coming up, but then again, everything changed. Like I would love, like, because my dad has taken me to hundreds of conventions growing up, toy conventions. He's been to my toy conventions that I run here in Montreal, but he's never come to a TFCon. I'd love to bring him to one because I'm pretty sure there's people that have asked who have questions for him too, because he's a toy collector, just a toy collector of a different era. Um, but it's just I would love to bring him with though, because my mom came with once. She wanted to see what all the hubbub was about, so she came with once. Um, but that's not my mom's not really a toy collector, so it was kind of lost on her in a lot of ways. For her, it was more just a trip to Toronto. She could go shopping around. She could see friends who live in Toronto. But my dad, it's a different story. He'd appreciate it. He'd actually be looking at stuff in the dealer room. Maybe not the Transformer stuff, but maybe like the die-cast stuff, the miscellaneous stuff. So one day I'll bring him there. One day I want to be able to take him on that trip, that nice long trip down there. That'd be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. But again, Big V World, Big V World messes with everything, you know, messes with everything, screws everything up. And that's the thing that sucks the most. Like everyone always asks me, it's like, like what do you miss the most since, the Big V ruined everything? And I always say the same thing. It's going to buffets, whether it be a sushi buffet or Chinese buffet. Sneeze guard, man. Bleh. I miss just buffets. I miss going to buffets, and I miss, the unbridled, uncensored convention scene. Because I'm gonna be real, I went to TFCon last weekend, but it wasn't the TFCon that it could have been. It wasn't. It was TFCon. There was people there, but the TFCon in 2019 was not like that. It was way bigger, way better, tons more people in Toronto. So it's just I want to go back to when those conventions could just be this big, bombastic, unlimited fun that could be had, and no one is worrying about you know you know masks and everything. And look, I'm one of those people, but when we could get away from that again, and then people could travel and not have to worry. Look, that dealer room was not as good as it could have been. Anyone who's been going to TFCon for multiple years in Toronto could speak for me. That dealer, like that hallway where the artist alley was, you know, where me and Aaron Archer were, used to be where the 3D art competition is. But now they could stick us there because, you know, there was plenty of space. No American dealers really. So the con wasn't as good as it could have been. And it's not TFCon's fault. I'm not going to throw them under the bus. It's just the environment we're in right now. There still is people that are hesitant. All my Japanese dudes, Hydra, Azusa, Tomoya, Sakamoto, all those guys that would come to BotCons, they're not going to show up in the middle of the Big V. They're playing it very straight when it comes to dealing with this stuff, especially when it comes to shipping packages even. So I'm not seeing any of those guys until this stuff is over. So we got to wait for all of that. Got to wait for all of that just to end. And then we could all just have a good time afterwards. But it's brutal right now. It really is. It's it's not the world I want it to be, but until we get over it all. JR Mina from the Philippines. JR Mina, hi everyone. Late tuning in and can't stay too long. Going out with the family for a while. Well, good for you, JR. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. More power to the channel and the podcast, Protoman. Hey, thank you, JR, for all the love and support all the way from the Philippines. It's funny, two guys from the Philippines I talked to at TFCon past weekend. It's pretty cool, too. We were talking about Dimos. Because whenever I meet anyone from the Philippines, I want to talk about Dimos. Because I love Dimos. Elves Bleed 57. My whole family collects Transformers. My dad is anything and everything. My brother is G1. I'm Beast and Unicron trilogy. Well, there's all the eras. With random stuff. It's cool having fun and understand and that they understand your hobby. Well, that was the luck that I had. Like my father is a collector. He understands the chase. He understands going to conventions. He understands buying stuff. It's not the same kind of stuff we collect. He collects die-cast cars and stuff. I collect die-cast cars that transform into robots. But there's a similarity there and an appreciation for engineering, an appreciation for a good-looking toy. And he understands the hustle and spending 3 digits on a piece of plastic. He gets it. He understands it. So that helps a lot when it comes to having that hobby, especially when you're growing up. And he brought me to, geez, so many conventions. So many, so many, so many conventions. Princeton's asking J.R. Mina's question. But yeah, I'll answer that one after. Uh, but he brought me to like there used to be called the Montreal Mini Comic Con, which was a show that was run by Elwin back in the day. Here's where I'm like, 1991, 1992, 1993, 1994. This little convention that was ran in the Holiday Inn in downtown Montreal. And those were the first conventions I ever went to. And they were just at the time, they were just comic books, some trading cards, and like one or two toy guys. And being me, I would get my comics cheap because they were always cheap. They always have dollar bin stuff, tax free, at these conventions. I get maybe, some cards or whatever, but I'd always go to the toy guys because those toy guys were the toy guys that would go south of the border, get all that sweet Anglophone American toys that you couldn't get, like all the stuff from KB Toys and everything, and you'd be able to pick it up from those dudes. It was good times, and I did that for years and years, and I had such great memories of it. That one of the conventions that I run many conventions, but one of the conventions I ran it in the exact same location, just to have that nostalgic feel, to run it in the same location. And I did only toys, only toys. So I filled that entire huge space with only toy collectors, and that was a pretty fun show. My retro expo, as I call it. But good stuff, good stuff. To answer Princeton Phalanx 59's question, what's for dinner? Well, today I was gonna have uh I was gonna have what's it called there? It's barbecue pork, but it's done Vietnamese style. Oh my God, what do they call it in Vietnamese? Uh, God, something ba. Anyways, it's a barbecue pork, Vietnamese barbecue pork with rice, with green vegetables on the side. Just gonna have that, some nice protein, and I bought myself a pack. Oh, actually, I might as well show this. I was gonna show this later on. I bought this too. This is the new Captain Crunch cereal, cinnamon bolts with the flash on it. Or en français, l'éclair dans le canal. But yeah, this is the new DC Superheroes cereals. So it's brand new. I didn't open it yet. I picked it up today at Walmart when I was doing my shopping. So I can't wait to try this. I'm probably going to try it for breakfast tomorrow. But oh, cat's meowing outside. I have a window here. The cat meowing. People hear the cat, eh? That's funny. It's actually not Chinese food. It's Vietnamese food that I'm having. But yeah, this I'm gonna probably have tomorrow for breakfast. It's probably not gonna be that good. A lot of times these licensed cereals don't taste very great, but it's from oh, that cat is loud. Uh, that's from Captain Crunch. So, and it's got the Flash on it. They had different ones. They had a Superman one. They had a Supergirl one. Then they had the Oatmeal, which had Batman on it, and Wonder Woman. So I just wanted to get this one. Just wanted to get that one. Try that out. Cinnamon bolt, and it's not too bad on the sugar, mind you. This is Canadian sugar laws, so they obviously had to probably change it. So only 8 grams of sugar on that one. In Canadian sugar laws for cereals, we're not allowed to have more than 11 grams of sugar in our cereal. So when we have stuff like Captain Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or Frosted Flakes, or Lucky Charms, they actually modify it. It's very different from your cereal in the States to make it have less sugar. So it's healthier. That's your little food knowledge for the day for Canadian cereals. Which let me tell you something, American cereals taste way better. I go to the States, I buy Cocoa Pebbles, what's the other one with the monkey on it? Cocoa Crisp, I think it's called, the one with the monkey. What else is really good? Count Chocula. Oh my God, Count Chocula. Count Chocula, when they release it here in Canada, it is watered down garbage. It is disgusting, the Count Chocula and they only release it here during Halloween, and it's watered down crap. It is not good. Not good at all. Um, and then of course, corn pops in the States is very different than our corn pops. Google all of that. You're gonna see. You're gonna be like, ugh. But I guess in Canada they think, health starts at breakfast, and they don't want to give kids a chocolate bar in the morning. So our cereals are a lot more. They're a lot more toned back. Canada Health is very picky with that when it comes to breakfast. Very picky. Very very picky. Ah, man. I just got these today too. Very excited about these. Go by their booth and pick them up this weekend if you get a chance. With his blaster arm. He has like his blaster hand, and then he has his regular hand. That's cute. I love Shockwave, so this is the cool one. You're gonna see in the future he's gonna be like here somewhere. I'm gonna have to redo the whole display of plush back there. Introduce some new people. And this very melon looking hound with his little shoulder cannon. Or is I guess, well, it's more the hologram projector. Pretty cool in the detail on the back there. Very nice, very nice. Good job, Symbiote Studios. Very nice indeed. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Um, but yeah, we got little over 15 minutes left, guys. We'll try to get a few more super chats in, and then we will call it a night. We got one here from Horned Owl. I love the MPG01 Shuki is actually HO scale. Is he? I did not know that. I didn't get mine yet. And is compatible with HO scale tracks. That is so cool. Uh, Alt mode looks amazing, accurate to the real Shikansen bullet train. Have you had a chance to check him out? No, I have not yet. But let me give you this. Right now on Big Bad Toy Store, and I'm not sponsored by Big Bad Toy Store, they got a whole bunch of copies of Figure King magazine that came with the official upgrade sticker sets. I believe you could get the whole magazine for $25 or $24. So if you have Shuki and you want to get the sticker set, the rare official sticker set for it, BBTS with the latest issue of Figure King. If you're not sure which issue it is, click on the latest issues of Figure King magazine, and they have like the photos of the pages on the inside, and it'll show the sticker set. So if you're a Shuki owner, they have a limited amount of copies. Go pick it up. It's the first ever official repro label set, I guess you could call it, or official upgrade set. So that's pretty cool. No, I have not yet, but I would love to get them. Love to get them. I think they look really cool. It's different. It's very different than, like, look how many times, if you pick up a Masterpiece Skids, you've already owned 5 different Skids figures. How many Shuki figures have we had? Like 2. We had the original, and then they did like an e-hobby exclusive repaint a while back from the Astro Train mold. So, it'd be nice to get more Shuki figures. It'd be really cool. Really, really, really cool. and all the others too. All the others also. Just really, really would be cool to see more of those unique Japanese headmasters characters and stuff like that just don't get enough plastic treatment. I guess. Oh, I take it back. Shuki had one other figure. He had his PVC from SCF. That's true too. He had that one. That's more Raiden running out of water. Shows we're the end of the podcast today. The live stream. 15 minutes left, my peeps. Get in the super chats while you can. And then Proto Man's going to go grab a bite and just relax the rest of the evening. And then we're going to have a crazy SDCC countdown Monday to Friday. That's going to be nuts. That's going to be crazy. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. A lot of crazy stuff. Actually, you know what else? I got this too. I didn't really show it off to anybody. Um, I got the posters, the promotional posters for the Transformers TCG. I'll show you guys off these. These are the very last expansion set was Titan Masters Attack. There, that one there. So that's the Megatron one. These were the promotional posters that they would hang in comic book stores or TCG stores or game shops. I got these two in the mail. Totally forgot to show you guys off these that I picked these up. I just remembered now. Here's the Optimus, and you got Topspin in the back there. Pretty cool, eh? Very nice. These were for like just events, like you would write down, if you're doing a tournament or something. I'm honestly tempted to, not sure yet, like maybe making reproductions of these so that people want to use them for their events. Like if they run their own private events and stuff, they could have the posters. I could go to like a Staples or something and make reproductions of those posters that people could use. Be really cool. But I got that recently. I like that kind of like advertising paraphernalia because that's the kind of stuff. There's not a lot of it out there. Like stores would get it, and then when they're done with it, they throw it out. So there's not much of it that survives. So that's pretty cool. Picked up. What else did I get? Not much else. Much else. Trying to see what else. Not much else, unfortunately. TFCon was pretty light. It was more just autographs, art, the odd figure here and there. Again, the dealer room wasn't that bombastic. It was a lot of new product, a lot of stuff I already have, and a lot of modern product that I could wait. I'm not in a rush to spend full MSRP or even more full MSRP with a markup for a convention for a deluxe figure that I might get loose for $5 in a couple of months, from a message board or whatever. So I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait. It's never. I always say, again, like I said at the beginning, it's an expensive hobby. It's an expensive hobby, and how you can keep up with all the stuff that's coming out is picking your battles, being smart with what you purchase, and really just kind of sticking to specific like micro collections. Like, like if you're someone that only collects like hot rod figures, more power to you. That saves you a lot more than just buying entire sets. Like just stick with the figures you like, or the characters you like. Like, oh, I only buy hot rods, blasters, and Insecticons. That works out better. You know. Elsbleed 57. Do you have MP Lio Convoy? If so, what is your opinion of him? I'm tempted to get that dark amber one, and I don't collect MPs. MP Lio Convoy, I do have. He is incredible. As someone that owns all the past like Lio convoys, like you can't see, but there's the Robot Master. You could barely see him behind Megastorm there, which is the G2 Megatron from Beast Wars Second. But I have all the I have Black Lio Convoy, Flash Lio Convoy, and the original. The original toy is fun, but articulation was not that great. The Robot Master was way too tiny, but it was fun, but way too tiny. This one does everything we wanted for that animation model. It's a fantastic masterpiece. If I have one complaint, it should have came with that little Artemis figure that was originally promised that got canceled. But it's great. The Dark Amber version is even more interesting because it's a brand new character and it's going to be connected to the end of the Generation 1 universe. So historically and context-wise as a character, Dark Amber Lio Prime, as he's called, is going to be an important character. So if you're interested in picking him up, you won't be disappointed. It's a really good toy. Really, really, really good. Really good mold, I guess is the best way to put it. Really good mold. I suggest getting the original too. I mean, if you watched Beast Wars 2nd and you really like that series like I did, pick it up. Pick it up, yo. You know, get the original toy too, just so you could compare. You could probably get it on the cheap now. It's probably not that expensive. Then again, I don't know. Maybe the market has shifted since then. There's a lot of Korean versions of it in the secondary market, which are exactly the same. Hopefully that lowers the value. We got 10 minutes left. 2 nights. 10 minutes left. And then we will be calling it quits and we could relax for the rest of the weekend. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's going to be sorting toys. Going to be pretty much sorting toys, cleaning up everything. I know that I have a whole bunch of trading cards I got to sort and everything. What else I got to do tomorrow? I'd like to ship out some packages, but I'm still waiting for that. I might as well cover this too. So for anyone that's waiting for all my Patreon people who are waiting for the
cost.
Essentially they want to get Believe in Bumper YouTube member. I'll answer your question in a moment. But for anyone that's waiting for the Famicom boys, right now I went to the post office and I'm getting a whole bunch of different rates to find the best way to ship it to you guys. That way we could, it doesn't cost you guys a lot of money. I wanted that you guys get it as cheap as possible. Like, because you're getting the figure for free, but I want the shipping to be as cheap as possible too. So I'm looking for these different kind of rates. That way, oversized mailer, regular mailer, bubble mailer, if it's in Florida, how much is it going to cost? If it's here in the UK, no. So, I've been spending the past week leading up to it just getting all these different rates and stuff. I sent one out to Mikey and Louie as a test run, see how that shipping works and how quick it is. And then hopefully by next weekend, maybe this Monday, I'll have an answer for everybody, for all my patrons who want that. So just an update for that. Elsbleed57 says, I've been watching Beast Wars 2nd on YouTube. Awesome. Subtitles. That's where it's at. I Believe in Bumper, who's a 10-month member. What up, I Believe in Bumper? Thank you for being a chosen one of Primus. That's the best one. Thank you for being a chosen one of Primus, Bumper. Been really busy lately, but I've caught that 15-year theater re-release for Transformers. How do you think these Transformer anniversary releases are doing? My showing only had one other person. The 1986 one also was light. Well, to be fair, I was actually on another podcast recently talking about that. We're not out of it yet with the Big V. There still is people that are hesitant. Look, Marvel movies print money, but all the Marvel movies recently, regardless if you like them or not, that's a different story. And all that. But even the Marvel movies aren't doing well. It's tough right now for movie theaters. What happened was the Big V happened, and then all of a sudden, all these movie companies started going, all right, stay home, watch movies at home. Here, you could rent it at home, 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 home. And for 2 years, we're conditioning people like that. And then they're just going to open up the doors again when the Big V is not completely gone and go, hey, everything's fine. Come on in. Be sure to pay $11 plus $7 for popcorn plus another $7 for a Coke. You know, people aren't back yet. They're not back in that frame of mind. So I firmly believe if that re-release of the movie happened 2019, it would have been packed. It would have been full. It would have been great. I was there for the 1986 movie, the first re-release that they did. When was that? That was 2018. Forget when I went to that. It was full. It was full. Like, it was really packed. So I think it's just the current climate that we're still in. We're not out of it yet. And because we're not out of it yet, those people that would have been in the theater, that would have been those butts in a seat, they're at home. They're watching it on their Blu-ray. They're watching it on, on Paramount Plus. They're just using that. Mike Rosen, the movie theater in my town has half the screen showing Minions. Oi. Well then. JR Mina, hi Proto. Just want to confirm I'm qualified for the Famicom Boy, right? Yes, you are, JR Mina. Do not worry. Again, just the guys who are patrons, just contact me. The guys who are patrons, contact me. Find a way to contact me, usually through Patreon. That's the no-brainer way. And we're gonna work stuff out. We're gonna work stuff out. You're in the Philippines. I'm gonna just have to figure out a rate. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to figure out something. You know, like I say, just if you're willing to pay for the shipping, the item is free. That's all it is. So we'll have to figure out a rate, JR. Just give me your full address, and I'm gonna go to the bank and talk with my bank. Go to the post office, talk to my post office guy, and we're gonna make a master list of everything. We got 5 minutes left, people. 5 minutes left, and then we're gonna relax. We're all gonna go to sleep. I'm just gonna go grab a quick bite. Gotta make sure take this back upstairs. I brought this down to show you guys. And by the way, I finally got around. I'm probably sure some people saw it on my Instagram or my Twitter. If you're not following those, why aren't you? Finally got around to messing with this guy. And you know what I love the best about him? Like it's kind of like the weird undocumented features about him. Like if you kind of like unclip these and you just like half transform them in a lot of ways. Like I love how you just have like there's the cockpit. Like you could just kind of have that as a play set. And then like I just like that you could kind of access the golden disc that way. And it's a little computer. I mean, it's obviously not intended to be like that. It's kind of just like a fan-in kind of feature. But I always kind of dug that. Maybe it was intended. Who knows? Who knows? But finally got a chance to really mess with him, and I like it. I like it a lot. But I'm more tempted to keep him in the arc mode, just because it's more iconic. The little list and everything. Kind of like the arc mode a little more. Just looks nice just having like that. But who knows? Maybe if I get a second one, maybe there'll be some junkers in the secondary market, and then I could do that. Elsweed 59, tell that to Top Gun. My 15th anniversary had like 10 people. The last release in the 86 movie had half the theater. Well, yeah, again, it's just tough. Just tough. Tough, 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 tough. It's when we get back to normal, look, tell that to the flight companies, to the all the theme parks and everything. We're not out of it yet. And when you lose a small percentage of people that are hesitant, that domino effects like crazy. Got to go, everyone. Happy weekend. Thank you, JR Mina, for coming by. And we have 2 minutes left anyways, but we'll answer Princeton Phalanx's question and then we'll call it a night. Are you going to get that new Titan Metroplex? I hope so. I hope so. Looks really cool. Be cool to go with the other Metroplex. I have the Japanese version of Galaxy Force. I have the American version of Cybertron. I have the little figurine from Kabaya of him. Why not get the last Titan of him and have all the Megalo comboys? Have them all. That'd be cool. I think he looks cool. I dig him. But that speaks to me because I like Cybertron. I like the Cybertron. I like those lines. So I'm a fan of those ones. But yeah. So that's it more or less, guys. We're up to the 2-hour mark now of yapping about the robots in the sky. So once again, if you want to help support the podcast, super chats and being YouTube members make a big deal. But also, if you want to be a patron, patreon.com/Protoman. It's in the link below, or it will be in the replay of the segment. You could come be a patron of the podcast, get a whole bunch of benefits and everything like that. If you're a YouTube member, those are my green names over there on the side. They get to ask all the questions they want. There's all ways to support the podcast. Let us know we're doing a half decent job keeping you entertained Monday to Friday and sometimes Saturday on the Transformers Slag podcast. Thank you all for coming by, spending 2 hours talking about robots. I hope you learned something today. I hope you were entertained. I hope your Saturday night is just as enjoyable as mine will be the second I hit that off button. Take care of yourself. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Aaron Archer, Hasbro people who are hanging out in the background, all my patrons, all my super chatters, all my YouTube members. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. And as always, roll out.